The other day I was perusing the periodicals, as my grandmother would say, and I saw BREITBART publish an article with the headline, "New York Times editor has a history of anti-Semitic tweets." Now, in the body of this article, I lightly glanced over it because I've seen so many types of this style of article that I can tell you how it operates. It's the same mechanics over and over again. But inside the body of the article were a couple examples of this New York Times editor's tweets from 10 years ago. A whole decade. And Britney Spears was probably popular 10 years ago, for goodness sakes. Nonetheless, the BREITBART had done us the great service of combing through this individual's tweets, collecting some sort of narrative over the last 10 years from 5 tweets, and telling the world, hey, did you know this person is anti-Semitic? The problem is, I find this a kick-in-the-balls journalism. This is what I call the kick-in-the-balls journalism technique. Because media on the left and right does it all the time. It's become more and more prevalent. I think it's become more and more prevalent because it's so easy. Just like kicking somebody in the balls is such an easy, impactful, forceful technique to just crumple somebody. It's one, easy, and two, pack such an emotional punch to build some narrative and to claim them as, anti-Jewish, anti-Muslim, anti-white, whatever you want, that it's an emotional punch that bifurcates any audience into either hating the content or buying the content. And that's ultimately what you want as a media company, is to emotionally enrage your audience enough to buy the content. It's not enough for them to just like it. They got to buy it. It's a different thing. It's like asking the artist, is it good? Well, ultimately, it doesn't matter whether it's good or not. The question is, would you hang it on your wall? The question for the newspaper isn't, do you like it? It's, are people going to buy it? This idea of building a narrative by combing through individuals' tweets is so weak. It's such lazy journalism. Any two-bit schnook can do it, which is partly why journalists get wrecked by the same technique that they do to other people. Nobody can escape it. Private individuals, celebrities, journalists. Wall Street Journal did it to PewDiePie. It was rubbish. The Atlantic did it to some Instagram girls. It was rubbish. Fusion, that two-bit hacked liberal media outlet, did it to Quinn Norton, who herself is liberal. She was hired and fired from the New York Times in one day. They've done it to other New York Times editors. They've done it to right-wing publications on the Daily Caller. They're doing it again to the New York Times. They did it to Kevin Hart. He stepped down from talking on the Oscars because somebody went through his tweets again and again and again. With the assumption, because we, for whatever reason, like to believe that what somebody says 5 years ago is somehow indicative of how they feel today. When so often what we say is so dependent on so many factors. Our environment, our mood that day. But when we say it on camera or in a tweet, it lives forever. So I'm calling on people collectively in the media like myself to stop with this kick-in-the-balls journalism, where you comb through people's Twitter accounts to build some sort of narrative that will sell headlines. Because it's cheap. It's antithetical to any sort of complex, nuanced conversation about a subject or a topic. And it's a tinderbox for context collapse around the individual's character that you want to bring to light. But more than just media people need to stop doing it, we as consumers of news need to start recognizing it for what it is, a cheap kick-in-the-balls journalism. That at the end of the day, its job is to get you to pay attention. And it's not worth our attention. Don't give these articles attention. They're just simple, cheap, kick-in-the-ball journalism that every media outlet seems to be doing at the moment. Left media, right media, doesn't matter. I don't know, curious to see what your guys' thoughts are. Are you with me on this? Do you think enough is enough with these combing through Twitter accounts to try to build some sort of weird anti-PC narrative on whatever character du jour is thrown up to the Twitter gods to sacrifice? Curious to see your guys' thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe if you found this interesting or if you agree with this take. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.